We are live on one of them. Hey, YouTube kicks on automatically. Rumble likes to take its time, then wants to stay behind. How's it going, everyone? I know it's been a little bit. Had some, a bunch of family stuff going on and everything. So I'm a little off. I was up very late last night. My brother and I had some issues with my father, so doing that. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful day today. It was actually nice. We are still getting storms off and on. We had some off and on yesterday, early today. We got some coming to maybe late tonight. Boy, a lot of the country's been seeing a lot of rain. Got them spring showers going. So, how's everybody going? Trying to figure out what's going on in the background of my screen there. Well, that's weird. Sorry, I was looking at something here. Come on. Sorry, Rumble likes to really lag. All right, there we go. I got Rumble caught up so I can see what the heck is going on. Lord loves a duck, Rumble. You can't do that stuff. And now YouTube is, wow. You don't stream for a couple days and everything just goes knuckin' futs. Yeah, there we go. All right. Sorry about that. Wow, that was something. Everything just went knuckin' futs. Oh, man. I wish I could say I am going to say it's kind of a slower news day or so here today. I mean, we had the Pope died here recently. Catholics are... Who do you think they're going to choose for a new Pope? I'm not saying you're going to know who, but from the Americas, from Europe, they're going to choose... Don't laugh at me because I don't know this stuff. They're going to choose an African Pope. I don't know. I don't know how they do this. I am not a Catholic, so I don't know. I guess I could ask my wife, and she would know, but All right, so... Yeah, so that's going on. The other day I was seeing a bunch of, yesterday, I was at the gym, a whole bunch of Catholic prayer stuff going on, and saying goodbye to the Pope, I believe, or whatever. I wasn't paying that deep attention. So once again, I'm not a deep Catholic, but that was a big deal. News is trying to get the second signal gate going. They are hurting to get something amped up out of this. The Abrego Garcia thing, which we're going to talk about, is actually hitting Democrats in their polls. Nobody likes it. Everybody's like, what the hell are you doing? But they just can't help themselves. They're still going, even though this has hit them in the polls after the senator from Maryland went down there. And then he come back and, boy, he was backpedaling like crazy on Fox News. Well, no, we're not trying to get him back. We're not really, we don't want MS-13 back. But, his due process. And that brings me to my little opening tonight once I get my ass rolling here. Due process. Now, my problem with the due process, everybody's whining about on the Democrat side. And yes, few Republicans, few centrists, and the moron, dumb, idiot dickheads in the Supreme Court. Joe Biden's handlers were able to bring in 20 million friggin' people with no type of due process. They broke our laws. Look it up. Broke crap loads of federal laws, immigration laws, constitutional law, and brought in 20 million plus people. That is ones we pretty well know about. Around 20 million. Probably closer to 25 to 30 million. But I'll be nice and say 20. I'm not going to play this bullshit game like a lot of other commentators on both sides of the aisle. You see, 20 million, 15 million, 12 million, 10 million, 9 million, 14 million. It's right around 20 friggin' million. But this brings me to my whole problem with this. So they could bring in 20 million damn unvetted people who they dump the kids in your schools with no shots, no shot records, no nothing, who are in our hospitals, who are getting more welfare money than our own welfare people, get more benefits than a lot of our veterans do. They can bring them all in, do all of that without due process. And yes, these people are not supposed to be getting all these benefits. There's no due process for that. Them getting loaded debit cards of $3,000 to $8,000 a month per person. So a family of 4, think of that. A family of 4 was getting between, from the lowest number I heard, but $8,000, yeah, $8,000 a month, upwards, depending if it's the bigger one, 8 times 4, $32,000 a month. That is living better than you, me, and half the people in this country. No wonder they don't want to go the flip home. They will wave their fucking flags here, but God forbid they want to go home because they ain't going to get nothing like that down there. These people are up here sending money back to Mexico. Huge amounts. That is insane. Friggin' thousands of dollars. Plus, then we're still giving them food stamps, paying for their hotel or whatever they're staying. We're giving them their cell phone plans. We're giving them tons of shit. Of course they don't want to leave. They're getting everything handed to them. But hey, Supreme Court, where the fuck was all the due process? I am tired of this. Due process. They need due process. No, they can come in with the exact same amount of due process, or they can leave with the same amount of due process they were brought in under. So if they were brought in with zero due process, guess what? They can leave with zero due process. It's not Democrats got them in by breaking the laws and doing everything illegal, but hey, now we got to follow the laws to get them out. Fuck you. I'm done. I am done, and damn done. Anybody that thinks that it's okay that they can break all the laws and sneak them in here, bring them in here, open borders, all this crap. How many people have had their lives ended over this? Think about it. Their lives, American citizens' lives were lost over this. Many others had their lives damaged forever. Women and girls interfered with. Yeah. So this is stupid. Supreme Court. Any Democrat, tell me where the due process was for those American citizens who lost their lives due to this, or the females who were interfered with who had their lives permanently damaged. Where is their due process? But we have to have due process to ask them to leave. I'm sorry. I really do actually try not to cuss as much as I do, but I know why some people do, because this is bullshit. So what the Supreme Court is trying to tell Trump is, every single of those 20 million illegal aliens could just be brought in here openly, walk on in. Hey, here's money, go where to do it. Zero due process. But now, to make them leave, we have to give every one of those 20 million a court hearing. Even these so-called fast track ones, it's going to take 300 years to get them out of here. That was the plan. They knew that Supreme Court 1 were a bunch of wieners, bunch of jackasses in robes who never seemed to follow our Constitution or our laws. And Democrats knew what they were doing because they knew, as usual, the Democrats can break laws, flout the law. By the way, once again, I'm going to keep pounding this because I'm tired of Tim Pool, Crowder, and everybody missing this. They keep saying, wow, constitutional crisis, some people keep saying Trump should just ignore the Supreme Court and all the Democrats yell, that'd be constitutional crisis. No, Joe Biden ignored Supreme Court rulings twice over his college forgiveness crap. Supreme Court said you can't do it. He said, too bad, I'm doing it anyway. He said that in a speech. They ruled again. He did it again. Twice he ignored the Supreme Court. Where was the constitutional crisis? It never was a thing. It's bullshit. It's 100% bullshit. But now, if Trump ignores them, booga booga. Once again, even people like Crowder and everybody are letting the Democrats cow them. They can break the laws, whatever they want. No, it's time to hammer that. They broke due process. They broke laws. They cost Americans their lives. They cost American women and girls dearly. But now, due process? Fuck that. Everybody out there that is for these deportations should be hammering on what I just said. Every single one. Screw due process. They get the same they came in with. Democrats broke the laws, bringing them in. We are just correcting the law breaking by kicking them the hell out. Trump needs to openly ignore the Supreme Court ruling. And he needs to get all of his staff out there already pounding on the fact to the media that here is Joe Biden breaking Supreme Court rulings twice. Also needs to get out there and say the Supreme Court is doing something absolutely illegal here. These people do not deserve due process. They are not citizens. They were brought in against due process. You don't owe due process to somebody who didn't come here with due process. Get out. And to the United States Supreme Court, fuck you. I am butt-F tired of you assholes in dresses up there not doing your job. Every time there's a chance for you to stand up for our Constitution, only 1 out of every 10 to 15 times will you even take the case, or 1 to 15, or 10 out of those 15, maybe one time out of that is when you will take the case, will you actually do the Constitution right? No, you're just like, fuck it. You are going to where were you when Biden's people were breaking our laws and due process, bringing these people in? People tried to get to the Supreme Court multiple times. They refused to hear any of this. They turned down the whole state of Texas and other states suing over this. There was zero due process. The Supreme Court stuck their thumb in their ass and sat there. Now, suddenly, when Trump tries to get rid of them, no due process. Hey, Supreme Court, Democrats, where were you with due process when Obama got rid of 3 million, more than Trump has in both of his terms together? Where were you on the due process when Obama was deporting them? Come on, I'm waiting. And those are people that didn't get brought in and near as illegal as what Biden did. No, due process only goes for Orange Man. And it's about damned effing time. One, Republicans, stop being Republicans. Stop being wieners and do your damn job. Stand up and say no. Everybody should be out there before these deportations to say no. Every poll is showing that 82% of all Americans want all the ones who committed extra criminal crimes since being here of any type, want them gone. 82%. Depending on which poll you see, is between 54 and 58% of all Americans. These are lefty polls, by the way, want all illegals out of here. Mass deportations. Not the weenie anemic numbers Trump is doing. People are for this. And it's time everybody stands up and starts telling the Supreme Court, get fucked. These little judges that have zero standing anyway. Supreme Court's already told these judges to stop it. And they're still not doing it. They're still doing it. They're still going out doing this. So, hey, here's a question. If these lower level district judges aren't going to listen to the Supreme Court when they say, you can't be doing this, it affects policy, foreign policy, and everything else. You have no standing on this, and this. And they're still going to keep doing it? Then why does Trump have to listen? Real question. Why does Donald Trump have to listen? So I'm going to flip over there. Okay, say hello to everybody on Rumble. Sorry about that. But yeah, sorry I don't watch the Rumble side that much because somehow I've had upwards of 18 viewers at once on Rumble and nobody says anything. I have not received an email from anybody. Keep asking. If the chat's not working on Rumble, let me know. Everything I see says it works. But for some reason, Rumble don't talk. Of course, even on like a Steven Crowder video, he can have like 300,000 views and only like 25 thumbs up. I know I'm exaggerating though, but it's like 25,000 views and 1,000 thumbs up and 20 thumbs down. It's like people on Rumble. Rumble's got to fix that. Rumble's engagement. The amount of people that chat, the amount of people that even take the time to chat or thumbs up or thumbs down a stream. It's really weird on Rumble. Almost makes me wonder, Rumble, are those real numbers of people? I don't know. Not to be a jerk, I'm just saying it because it's weird. Even on the big creators, if you watch, something's misbalanced. But no, I don't think Trump should listen at all. Sorry to Squirrel. It's been a long couple days. I think Trump should say, get fucked. I really do. And I'm almost at the point where I think it should be in those terms. Where were you when Joe Biden didn't pay attention to the Supreme Court? Where were you on due process when Obama was kicking people out? Left and right. Where were you on due process when these people have been brought in? Where were you on the due process of American citizens whose lives were lost or they're interfered with and damaged their lives for good? Why is it only when we try to make illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, sorry, Tim, illegal immigrants leave here that we have to have due process? No, because that's the grift. They got 30 million, 20 million, whatever in here, and now they're going to end up staying because of this shit. And Trump needs to stand up. I like Trump. You can see, I like Trump. I've always liked Trump. But he needs to stop this. He's still trying to find a common ground, trying to meet in the middle, trying not to have, the media can say something nasty about me. They're going to anyway. They tried to kill you. You used to know that for a long time. Trump, for a while there, after that bullet whizzed through his ear, he stood up and he knew what he had to do. He's starting to back off again. He needs to go full force, say, screw you, enforce it, and do it. And when Democrats and leftist media start yelling constitutional crisis, which they already are, anyway, he needs to be out there in front of the media, in front of the American people, doing speeches, stand in front of Congress, whatever it takes, and throw down all the facts of where was due process at this point, this point, this point, this point. Why not only now on this one issue? Why only on making them leave? But yeah, that's where we're going to go with starting this. Sorry, I'm flipping back and forth here, because I do try to give people, I like to check Rumble. All right, well, we are going to start with that, honestly. I was going to start with the Tim Pool stuff, but we'll start here. Let me shrink me down, and boom. Whoosh. I shall shrink me a little more. Boink. There we go. Who needs to see me anyway? I don't. All right. House Democrats denied meeting with Albrego. I keep adding L. Albrego Garcia demand daily proof of life. Yeah, well, El Salvador has said, get screwed. Bukele down there, man, that man has no shits to give. He took the most dangerous country in the hemisphere and made it the safest in the hemisphere. That man has no shits to give on these people. He doesn't care. He thinks they're stupid. He's more of a Trump-type person, so he really thinks these people are idiots. No, four more Democrats flew down there after the Maryland senator flew down and got pwned, and he totally got owned. It is backfiring. They're backpedaling. It's showing in their left. The Democrat polling is showing it's really hitting them. You think they've dropped low? They are barely hitting the 20% now. If I remember right, I saw a couple polls that actually said 18 or 17% approval. People are tired of this, but the Democrats won't back off of any of this crap. Any of the crazy shit that cost them the election. Any of the crazy shit the American people openly, blatantly, clearly said on November 5th, fuck you, we do not like this. They are still going to keep going. They will not back off a single bit of it. In fact, they're putting the foot on the pedal. By the way, I do believe the senator from Maryland should be charged. He broke the Logan Act. It is clear as bell. I read it off on another stream. He broke the Logan Act. And now these four Democrats do the same thing. You do not get to represent United States foreign policy against the presidential executive administration. That is illegal. Only people Trump and his cabinet say can represent in certain things can do so. They are going down there flouting the will of the executive branch. Get fucked. I would like to see them charged. Once again, god dang, what does it take to charge people in our government? What does it take to charge a politician? I know I've seen some people, some people want to back off. And I don't want to keep throwing him under the bus because I watch him a lot, but he's not the only one. I've seen Tim, I've seen others out there. Well, we don't want to be banana republic. That's what banana republicans. We shouldn't just arrest and charge them. Yes, we should. Because Hillary Clinton, nothing happened to her ass, is why they amped it up. Because nothing happened to James Comey is why they amped it up. That's why nothing happened to Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. That's why they amped it up. That's why nobody in that court, the FISA court, that knew they were lying, nothing happened. That's why it's gone worse. Because every time, if anybody's had a kid, if you let a kid get away with stuff, they get worse and worse and worse and worse. California found out on a major size. or major scale. They went and, oh, you won't go to jail or have any penalties for stealing anything under $950. What happened? Crime went rampant. They finally got rid of that. And what happened? Crime has dropped. You got to have punishments for bad behavior. And what are we doing right now? No punishment. So I'm sorry, Trump should have put her in jail. Should have put Hillary in jail. Everybody involved in the Russia hoax should have been in jail. Everybody involved with the Hunter laptop lie should have been in jail. They fixed an election. They interfered. That is federal election interference. There are laws against what those people did. Anybody who told the social media to, oh, well, no, this is a Russian thing. Any of our government did that, you should be in jail. Those 51 intel agency officials, they lied, they knew it, in jail. Biden, in jail. Remember, Biden's whole campaign, he ran on a lie. Oh, Trump said the good people in Charlottesville. Now, this is how I'll bring up Tim Pool in a good way. You should watch Timcast from last night, Monday, April 21st. It is probably one of his best episodes. The lady on there was an idiot. I can't remember her name right offhand, but she was an idiot. She's worked in legacy media, but now she's going to split off, do her own thing. She had zero knowledge of anything going on. Anytime they'd bring up something, she'd go, well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Even Elad was like, what? What the hell are you even doing here? And, oh, good grief. All that remains. Sorry, I forgot his name. Phil. Phil was like, what are you even doing? He got mad a couple times. She was just up there spouting lefty shit like crazy, saying, oh, no, I don't support the left. Everything come out of her mouth is lefty. She argued with Tim and them about Trump saying there was good people on both sides in Charlottesville and the whole of torches people. She made a torchy joke that Tim let go by or didn't notice. Well, what were the people of the torches? There were none. It was a lie. But she kept pushing that. And then suddenly she pivoted when she was totally boned out on that and went to, well, Trump was just saying, he was just trying to kowtow to the bad people still. He was still kowtowing to the white supremes. What the hell? Almost everything that came out of her mouth was TDS. But she's trying to say she's not. She was making real snarky jokes. I don't know how Tim, one, kept his cool with her. Two, I do believe Tim let her get a little too far. But still, it was a very good episode. You want to see what's wrong with media? Go watch that. She wants to try to say that she's center. No, this is what they do. But that was a good episode, so I'll give Tim credit for that. And I know I'm wandering because I've had some days. But these idiots flew down here. I will get back to it. Flew down to El Salvador. A group of House Democrats. Here's another problem I have. You are part of the United States House of Representatives and Senate, right? Okay. So what the fuck are you doing for the American people being in El Salvador? Every poll shows the American people do not want you doing this. But you're going to take your time using taxpayer dollars. Yes, they are. As taxpayer dollars flying down here to dick around right here. When they should be in our Congress. I don't care if you don't agree with Trump or not. Then you should be in Congress trying to change the laws, the rules, regulations yourself. In there trying to work and fix things there. You do not fly out of our country, take our taxpayer dollars, go down and waste your time and screw around for a media op for your far left lunatics. Why are these people not working in our Congress on our country? Yeah. What the hell are they doing down there in El Salvador? El Salvador. You guys are morons. Democratic reps Robert Garcia, California. Surprise. Maxwell Frost, Florida. That's a little bit of a surprise, but they have some people there that are screwy. Oh, man, I might get this wrong. Yasemin Ansari, Arizona. Not a big surprise. Maxine Dexter, Oregon. No surprise. Comes on the heels of Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen, the backpedaler right here. The backpedaler in chief. Boy, is he. Visit with Abrego Garcia and Salvadoran officials about his deportation. Boy, they pwned him. Made him look so bad at that, too. The lawmakers met with William Duncan, the U.S. ambassador to El Salvador, at the embassy in Salvador on Monday morning, urging him to advocate for Abrego Garcia's release and ask for transparency in local officials. That right there is illegal. That is illegal. The president is in charge of his ambassadors. The president and the executive branch has set down United States policy. Set down policy on this person, on these deportations, and they are down there pushing the ambassador to do the opposite of his boss in the executive branch, of his bosses in the executive branch. That is illegal. That is a total violation of the Logan Act, and if Trump doesn't do something about this, it is fucking stupid. I will give him shit about that. That is dumb. He should be arresting these people. These people do not get to tell somebody that works under the executive branch, you will do the opposite of what your boss, the president, says. The president represents his country. These people do not. They represent Congress. They represent people of the states in Congress. Get the fuck back there. Telling this ambassador to go against his orders. I mean, yeah, dumbasses. So, yeah. All right. So that right there, they should be in jail for. It is illegal. Go look the Logan Act up. I'm not going to read it again on this stream, but go look it up and you're going to go, ooh, yeah. Just suffice to say, they are all breaking the Logan Act, and doing this right here is borderline sedition. I don't think it doesn't hit treason, but this is borderline sedition. Let me see. Actually, let's look up that real quick. Oops. Sedition. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Well, what do we have here? These Democratic reps are, they are, where they are. Lawmakers met the U.S. ambassador, urging him to advocate for Abrego Garcia's release and ask transparency from local officials. That is in opposition to the president and his cabinet of the United States of America, the executive branch, who this person works for. That is sedition. That is 100% sedition. Logan's Run? Yeah. Yeah, off the old TV series and the movie. The movie was better. The series wasn't bad. How you doing, Snowman? But no, they should 100% jail these guys. Every one of these reps should be jailed. This is breaking the Logan Act, and it is pure, provable sedition. But hey, Democrats can do whatever, and Republicans usually stick their thumb in their butts and go, well, we can't do that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Tell you what, Republicans, and by the way, this is playing by the rules. This is the actual law. But Republicans always, well, we can't stoop the Democrats' level or we'll lose. Sooner or later, if somebody's cheating and you don't do something at their level, you're going to lose. So sorry, Republicans. Time to stoop to their level, but here you don't even have to. Follow the law. Jail their asses. Jail them all. We want a constitutional crisis? No, this is a constitutional crisis. Trump and his people should be hammering this right here as a constitutional crisis. They are breaking our Constitution and laws. We left that meeting with absolutely zero indication this administration is going to facilitate or wants to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia back to the United States so we can go through due process, Frost said at a press conference. I love all these press conferences that are tax dollar. Let me see here. Facilitate. Sorry. Reading this is facilitate. Make an action or process easier. Okay. That was all that the Supreme Court said. Facilitate his return. And they said if El Salvador released the man and Abrego Garcia wanted to come back to America. Bukele said, why would we release him? He's a criminal under our own laws. He's in our jail. We don't release our criminals into our populace, especially ones we call terrorists. Yeah, he was directly asked. He said, we don't release our terrorists into our population. So, yeah, Trump doesn't have to do anything. He's following exactly what the Supreme Court said. Bukele's got them in jail under their own laws. Look the laws up. It's not like he's doing it because Trump says to. Under their own laws, Abrego Garcia is a terrorist and a criminal. He is where they will all go like that. If Bukele wanted to release him and Abrego Garcia said, yeah, I want to go back to America, then Trump would have to do something about it. But since that, he doesn't have to do shit. He can't tell them what to do with their own citizen. And this Frost knows this. They expect the Democrats, sheeple, the smooth brains, to not pay attention to that or even care. They don't care about facts. They don't care about logic. They don't care about law. They only care about Orange Man bad. I hate, and I will not, nothing get in the way of my hatred or my lust of power. Democrats have no beliefs except what gives them power in the moment. And right now, they're smooth brains, and they're hoping a lot of other Americans, even though centrist people, don't realize what they're saying here. How illegal it is that they're doing and how stupid what they're saying is. Facilitate does not mean tell another country what to do with their citizens. This is the arrogance of these Democrats also. Now, here's another problem. And I know I'm not reading this. I'm not one of those people just going to read things verbatim like every other channel out there does. 90% of the political channels just read the same stories to you. Give a little bit of their opinion. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to give a lot of my opinion and thoughts and read a little bit of it. We left that meeting. Okay, sorry. We left that meeting after zero indication. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the one I wanted. We need Kilmar to come home. But we are so concerned that if this is allowed to fly, that the Trump administration will be emboldened to continue. Yes, you shitheads. We voted for this. This, once again, the arrogance of the Democrats. Trump won pretty damn big, even with the whole media apparatus against him. He won pretty big. And one of the biggest things he ran on, and people voted for, was get rid of the illegal aliens. And it wasn't even a talk about just the criminal ones. It was get rid of them all. Mass deportations. He said it all the time. So this asshole, and sorry, saying we need to come home, or the Trump administration will be emboldened to continue. Well, yes, you dickhead. We voted for him to continue. We voted for it. And every poll right now is hitting the Democrats because they are pissed tired of the Democrats fighting for these people, for illegal aliens over citizens. These are United States Congress people in El Salvador fighting for an illegal alien gang member, instead of sitting in Congress doing work for you and me. That tells you everything you need to know. Fuck them. We want Trump to continue. We voted for this. Screw you. You lost. You supposedly believe in democracy. Now shut up. Sorry, I just ticks me off. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry, and I hate to keep bringing them up, but a lot of the big center or right pundits are not hammering on this bullshit right here. This is seditious, breaks the Logan Act, and we voted for Trump to do this, and they're still trying to say no to the American people. They said before, during the election, democracy, the will of the American people. But now the people spoke. Now it's like, fuck the will of the American people. Democrats have no beliefs except what gives them power in the moment. Trump should bring him back, put him right in front of a like-minded judge, and no, I disagree. Why? One, he can't bring him back because that's not up to him. That is Bukele, and he's in jail for real crimes in their own country. So we have no right to do that. But also, no, we cannot let the Democrats force one back. Think about it. If they get to force one back, the next time they'll push even harder on the next one. And the next one, we will never get these people out. 20 million. Look what it's taking for this one guy. This is what they're doing. This is their trial balloon. If they can stop even this one deep criminal motherfucker, we will never get them out of here. Never. Because if they can stop this or even slow it, no, we'll never get them out of here. Ever. It'll be done. Trump's whole presidency, the assassination attempt, our vote will be for nothing. We cannot backpedal. This guy needs to stay there, and Trump needs to... Also, I'm going to say this. What if they did get him back here? What if some loophole crappy thing happens and we can't deport him? What if they go, nope, change your mind, you can't. We're going to put a stay on it again. No. Because then the Democrats will have a huge win. Huge. And then they know all they got to do is do the same shit or worse, because that'll embolden them to amp it up for the next one. The one after that, one after that, one after that. And we will get nobody out. I'm sorry, but none. Nobody will be out. He is in the country of his birth, Snowman. He is in the country of his birth. El Salvador is where he was born. He is an El Salvadoran citizen. He's not a citizen of Venezuela or anywhere else. He's in an El Salvadoran prison because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That's where he was born. So, yeah, he is where he's supposed to be. The stay on his deportation was only because, which I don't know how this is our problem, because a rival gang might delete him if he went home back then. That rival gang is gone now. Bukele's got rid of him. That rival gang does not exist. So the whole reason for his stay for a while is gone. Also, he was picked up under the Biden administration for trafficking. Trafficking people and drugs. So he should have been out right then again. Right there. But so these people are just down here. Since we're not able to get the answers we need today from the embassy, we have written a letter just as of 30 minutes ago to Secretary of State Marco Rubio demanding daily proof of life of Mr. Abrego Garcia. Not his problem. Talk to the officials in El Salvador. It's not their problem. Not our problem. He's an illegal. He's home. In his home country. In jail for crimes there. Too bad. Talk to them. We have no reason to spend a minuscule dollar or bit of time on this guy. And we cannot let the Democrats force him back here. Which they can't anyway, because we have no right, zero right to tell them what to do with their citizen. Which is very ballsy of them to be demanding of them, give us back this illegal. Give us your citizen. So we can waste money, bring him back, and if we don't get screwed over by some idiot judge, send him right back. It's just stupid. That is Democrats 2 + 2 = 5 math. This man had his day in court twice. 2 different judges said he is MS-13. All evidence shows it. When he got picked up, he was with MS-13 people. His tattoo, the marijuana belief and everything, it spells MS-13. They gave his rank in the gang. Then when he was picked up trafficking under the Biden administration, trafficking people and drugs, he was with MS-13 people again, picked up in an MS-13 sting. How much more do we need? This guy's had more than his level of due process. More due process than me or you would have got. We are putting illegal aliens, even gang ones, above American citizens again. This is the Democrat Party. So Marco Rubio should just take that letter and throw it in the garbage. So yeah, well, let's move on to, where'd she go? Oh, this dingus. I love this chick. Sorry to get worked up, Snowman, but I've had a long couple days and I am tired of this Abrego Garcia. I am tired of the Democrats who want to talk disenfranchising Americans' votes. I'm tired of them using the word democracy. Yet every time they lose, they wipe their ass with the word democracy. They wipe their ass with the votes of the American people. They don't give a shit about disenfranchising, and they don't give a shit that these people are criminals that so far Trump has gotten rid of. That's it. Even the so-called hairdresser dude was an illegal alien who had a deportation order. Oh, but he was just a hairdresser. I don't give a shit. The American public doesn't give a shit. Between 54 and 58%, depending which lefty poll shows they want mass deportations. They don't care if you're a criminal or not. So these Democrats don't give a shit. This is their power they're seeing bleed away. If they can stop Trump, then they get to keep these 20 million, and then they win in the next census hugely. That is what they want. It's all about power for the next election and all the in the Electoral College and the House of Reps. All right. This is Maxine Dexter, Democrat Congresswoman, who should be in Congress, not in El Salvador. Says she won't leave El Salvador without MS-13 terrorist Abrego Garcia. My thought, he asked for thoughts. I said, Thoughts? What is this T-Watt doing saying she's going to stay in El Salvador instead of being here doing the job for us? Well, if they don't release him for a month, I'll be here for a month. That is like extorting the American people. I won't come home and do my job if you don't let me bring home this gang member. That's stupid. That's just dumb. That is dumb, 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 dumb. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to square that. My God, if I was a Vulcan right now, my brain would be burning with illogic. But yeah, let's hear this T-Watt. Back up. I'm not going to blow her up all the way. You can see her face up there.
Here, coming to you from El Salvador. I flew here last night with 3 of my colleagues to demand that Kilmar Abrego Garcia be released. He's being...
I like demand. Members of United States Congress, in violation of the Logan Act, are going to fly down and demand the leaders of another country release a criminal citizen of their country. Now, Snowman, you did know, by the way, he is actually a citizen of El Salvador, didn't you? He is in jail in El Salvador for being MS-13, which is illegal in El Salvador. And they knew that before. They knew that in 2019 when he has court hearings. That was part of the discussion. So he's illegal in their own country. What he's done is breaking laws. But she's going to fly down and demand that another country does whatever they feel like with their own citizen.
Held in violation of a Supreme Court order expressly telling the Trump administration to effectuate and facilitate.
If he was released and wanted to come back to America. Not get him out of jail, not break him out, not order a country what to do with their own citizen. That is not what the Supreme Court said. It actually says in that order, if he is released and wants to come back, they must facilitate it. So if Bukele releases him into the public and Abrego Garcia goes, yeah, I want to go back to America, Trump would have to supply the plane, fly him back, put him in court, and then he'd just be sent right back. And end up right back in the jail 2 days later. So, good plan. Well, yeah, if you know he's born in El Salvador, I mean, he is in the country of his own origin. He's already there. And we should not ever let the Democrats have a single minuscule win on this, or we'll never get him out. Never, ever, ever get him out.
His coming home. That is being ignored.
He is home.
This is not just a threat to all people in the United States who could be illegally abducted, detained, and transported internationally against their will, but it is a fact.
2 + 2 = 5. Democrat math. Let's see, if we get rid of illegal aliens, even MS-13 ones, see, illegal alien, MS-13, deport. Oh God, American citizens are in danger. Even the Alien Deportation Act Trump is using has nothing to do with American citizens. None of this is to do with American citizens. He had run on, I'm going to get rid of American citizens. He ran and get rid of illegal aliens. This is what they do for the smooth brains out there. They tell their smooth brains, ooh, booga booga. If you let Trump get rid of this MS-13 gang member or these other child interferers, I got to watch out for child SAers. Oh my God, you're next. What the shit type of math is that? That is stupid. That is Democrats. They are openly lying to the far left, smooth-brained dumbasses out there, and they're hoping to find more people in the center, even a few dummies on the right, going, oh my God, Trump is going to deport me? He could deport my mom? No. He ain't deporting citizens. Idiots. This is lefties' grift. You could be next, so you can't let him get rid of criminals.
That our president does not recognize the branches of government and the balances of power. This is what we all have been calling a constitutional crisis, yet it is more severe than anything we've seen.
Really? Joe Biden tried to jail his opponent, made up new laws, broke constitutional laws. They called half of America criminals. To keep that in mind, they called half of America criminals. A danger to America. Red background speech. He screamed and banged on his podium bunch. How many times do they say half of America are dangerous? I don't know. I don't think Trump is the problem with dealing with American citizens.
We cannot stay silent. We must stay loud. I am here because I refuse to wait for something to happen. We are here to release Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Sorry, I had to back up my headphones. They keep disconnecting.
A constitutional crisis, yet it is more severe than anything we've seen.
Really?
We cannot stay silent. We must stay loud. I am here because I refuse to wait for something to happen.
It's not your job. Why does this Where is she from? Let me see here. Let's see. Where is she from? Let me see how to spell her name real quick. Sorry. Maxine Dexter. Let's see. Where is she from? Wow, wow, holy Lord of the Rings. Oh God, sweetie. Oh, Iroquois, wow. Yeah, she's after the One Ring. Oregon. Yeah, okay, she's Oregon. Well, I hate to say this, but okay. What does the House of the representative from Oregon have anything to do? Let's just say Maryland. This guy's from Maryland, which he isn't. What the hell does she have to do being from Oregon, representing Oregonians? What the hell does she have to do with a Maryland citizen clear across the country? Why is she in El Salvador, Oregonians? She's obviously not working a damn bit for you. But she's going to stay there till she can bring Abrego home. Sounds like she just wants a vacation on your dime. I'm going to go to a tropical country and hang out, and you're going to pay for it. Woohoo. That's what I get. She's paying. She's enjoying that. She can have some margaritas. And I bet she ain't staying in a Motel 6. I'm betting she's staying in a 4 or 5 star place down there on your dime, too. But she's going to wander clear down there, and I'm going to hang out. Probably going to meet Sauron while she's down there from that picture. Whoa. That is got to be the worst thing ever. Whew. That had to be a bad day. Or she's had some work done since, because she looks a little different now. I mean, wow. What was that? I mean, she's not doing her job. So, yeah, that's just stupid. But I don't want to spend too much on this, but here's a lot of stuff about Abrego Garcia. Anything to get on Portland, whoa, yeah, you know what? Okay. I rescind it all. I understand now. I get it. Damn it, man. And I thought I was making a good point. And with one short sentence, you ruined it. Holy shit. Nice. Yeah, okay. Anything to get out of Portland, I understand. Now, okay, then by the same logic, Snowman, I don't understand your rep from Florida going there then, because Florida's a nice place. I can understand Portland, the lands of the loonies. Dude, that says a lot if she doesn't want to be around the lunatics in her own state. Wow. But all the stuff on Abrego Garcia, all you do is type in Abrego Garcia info, and it just comes up. All the arrest records. The stuff where his wife got protection orders twice for beating the bejesus out of her. Entered U.S. illegally, joined a foreign terrorist organization, trafficked humans, distributed narcotics. Judge Zinnes and Democrats are fighting to get him back. And by the way, this Judge Zinnes is doing this in spite. Once again, you want to talk constitutional crisis? The Supreme Court told these lower-level judges to stop it. You have no standing on foreign policy over the president. Stop doing this. And Judge Zinnes and others, Boasberg and all of them, are still doing it. So you want to talk constitutional crisis? Why does Trump have to listen to the Supreme Court when these judges aren't? These are low-level federal district court judges, and they are doing this to the Supreme Court. If they don't have to listen to the Supreme Court, why does Trump? That's just me. I don't understand it. Take these off for a minute. Why does he have to listen? As far as I'm concerned, says Joe Biden have to listen, Democrat Congress people don't have to listen, and the Democrat judges don't have to listen below the Supreme Court. Why does Trump? Constitutional crisis. Trump has a horrible group of people in his press corps or whatever. Because they should be putting out right here. They should be putting all this out, and they should be talking about constitutional crisis. They should turn that back on Democrats. Constitutional crisis is the new genocide for Democrats. The genocide word is one of their favorites now, but also constitutional crisis. So Trump's press secretary, whatever, press people, all of them should be putting out TV commercials, whatever it took, to hammer constitutional crisis on the Democrats. Start with the Joe Biden ignoring 2 Supreme Court orders. Start with all the Democrats who told him to do that. Start with all of this. And then you show the Supreme Court ruling telling these judges to stop it. And show them still doing it. Then you start hammering constitutional crisis. This is dumb. Yeah, DOJ releases information about the Maryland man. They keep calling him that, an illegal alien. Yeah, see, this is the one where he got picked up again. This is during the Biden administration. He was going through the court system then. Let's see. In 2019, the Prince, he went through it during the Biden administration, but he was picked up in 2019. The Prince George's County Police Gang Unit determined Garcia was an MS-13 gang member with contacts to other members. He admitted he was in the U.S. illegally after arrest under a ending a person investigation. This guy is not a good person. There are multiple times he was picked up for stuff. Yeah, made a call to, he called, by the way, the people representing him, the law firm representing him, was a law firm that represents MS-13 people. Come on. You can't pay for this level of guilt. He's done. He's gone. He's cooked. But yeah, I think we're going to wander a while today. I think I'm done with that. We're going to go a quick palate cleanser in the middle. Not really. But I have a quick question here. Oh, man. Oh, I want to hear this. Let's see. This is the other day, isn't it?
Today we have...
Yeah, it's a couple days ago. I don't want to hear this again. This is the old one. Okay, Pam Blondie. Pamela Blondie here, or Spamela Blondie, issues a memo to prevent mutilation of children. Hold medical professionals accountable. A memo? A memo? What the hell is this woman doing? I issued a memo. It was a strongly worded memo, so they won't dare do anything. They will listen to me because I issued a memo. You're the chief law enforcement officer of the United States of America. A memo? My God, I can grab a memo pad over here and write a memo to somebody. Ooh. Arrest somebody. For the love of God, lady. Stop going on Fox News, Newsmax, and all the others. Stop saying, I'm going to shake my finger at you, and I'm going to write a memo, and I'm going to send a strongly worded letter to you. She keeps saying stupid shit. But she doesn't seem to do jack shit. Seriously, how much has she done? She's the head law enforcement official. There is not a lot you can point to she's done. Hey, where's the Epstein files? Where is that? Let's say the Epstein files existed when Trump won his election. They sure as shit didn't when Pammy screwed up. Because as soon as she tried that, and they only sent her a couple of hundred papers, she's like, I got it all. Which, either she's a moron and should be fired, or she's a liar and should be fired. Anybody that knows anything about the Epstein stuff knows they had tapes, cameras, footage, everything else. So she takes a folder and goes, I got it. If there was anything existing when Trump won, right then it all got destroyed. The only people that have it now are the people that ran Epstein. Whoever was in charge of running him. And Ghislaine Maxwell. Why have we not seen the list? Maxwell had it. They put it in evidence, and we've never seen it. The very fact we don't even have that says it all. I'm not sure we're ever going to see it. Attorney General Pam Bondi issued a memorandum exclusively shared with Breitbart News, which is aimed at preventing the mutilation of children in the United States through gender reassignment surgery and holds accountable medical practitioners who exploit and mutilate children. A memo. That's the best. Department of Justice can do is issue a memo. Good grief. I don't see this is going to do jack. I see her doing just enough to make noise out there for some, I don't know, the dumb people that are on the right, the dumb ones in the Trump supporting cast who are like, yay, Pammy, get him. No. It's like she assumes everybody's a Trump followers in a cult. I can just make noise and wag finger and go on TV and everybody go, woohoo. No, do something. Trump people are not in a cult. There's a reason. If you look her popularity up right now, she is the least popular person in the Trump administration. It's not Pete Hegseth. People support him overwhelmingly. She is the least popular because she is not doing much. She is saying a lot and doing jack shit. What's that? Speak quietly and carry a big stick? She's speaking loudly and using a pen. So yeah, Pam. I mean, god dang. She's considering suing Maine to stop them because they're still breaking the law with all the transgender, biological girls, sports stuff, putting the biological boys in it. We're going to consider what? Wag finger. We're considering a suit. What do you consider? Just for the love of God, sit down at your desk, tell your secretary, hey, dictate this. You are now officially sued. Send this, get this out, done. Lawsuit, we're done. How about this? How about you arrest the governor who's flouting the law, who openly said on camera, nope, ain't going to follow it. That is illegal. I flout law, I get arrested. I knowingly, openly flout law, I get arrested. God dang, Pam, do something. Hey, Cash, you do something. Okay, Cash and maybe Dan are still working behind the scenes. Okay, fine. But what they promised and how much they said they would come in and like buzzsaws, I'm not seeing it so far. Dan hasn't been there that long. I get it. Dan is only the number 3. I get it. But, man, Cash and Pam. I don't know anybody's not very disappointed in Bondi. I wasn't a big fan when they said she was going to be the person. But Cash is the one that actually is starting to bother me a little too. So, we'll see. But I just wanted to flip on that. All right. And I didn't want to talk about this while Tim Pool was on because I thought it would be rude to talk about him while he was still airing. I'm a jerk, not a dick. Or vice versa. Well, this is a big deal. Honestly, I'm very happy with it. Tim Pool asks the first question at today's White House press briefing. And yes, this is true. He called out the entire media room, and I'll bet they were seething. I was watching this live, and I noticed there were some uncomfortable, or some people looked down. There were a couple of looked at him smiling. I believe Tim Pool did a very good thing here. I'm not sure they answered his question real well, but I do think the White House press corps people pick their own, whoever goes in and block out others they don't like is crap. It's a popularity contest like the show Survivor. Many of the news organizations maybe we should, I've done those mistakes. Organizations represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear. By the way, the Very Fine People hoax after Tim's episode last night should be fresh in his mind. That chick is a lunatic. The Covington smear and now the Maryland man hoax, or an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by 2 different judges, I believe. It is at least 2 different judges, is simply being referred to as a Maryland man over and over again. In an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat. I'm wondering if you can comment on following this expansion. You've had numerous outlets disparage the companies and reporters you've had here. Yeah, the main reporters don't like this. They are seeing their power leave. They've had the power to tell you, me, and the world what to think. Here's what's happening. We tell you, that's it. They are losing that heavily with the internet. That is why the Biden administration was going to make the Government Office of Disinformation with the chick singing like Mary Poppins in there about misinformation, while everything the government backed off and on for the last, 8 years has been totally false. All of it has been proven false. Stupid. Lab leak theory. It's bullshit. They ended people's careers over that. That was the government. And now suddenly, okay, lab leak is probably real. What? Lab leak is probably real. Shit. You can't let the government control you, but these people also are the ones doing it. So, plain access to new companies, yes, they are, but I like Tim's question, but I don't like how it was not answered. And I did like the faces here. I'm going to blow these people up a little. Some of these faces are just hilarious. Look down. A lot of times when somebody asks a question, they look up. Look at him. Oh, yeah, he is side-eyeing. I think that's almost a happy side. I think he's like, ooh, get him, Tim. Hey, no problem, Snowman. Have a good one, dude. I know I got a bunch of lurkers on here, and welcome, everybody. Hour later, hey, have a good night, Snowman. Go get your rep in shape and tell him what the hell are you doing in El Salvador. But yeah. Oh, Caitlin Collins, of course, she's looking down. Because everything Tim is saying there right now, she's been neck deep in. Oh, this one here, I don't know her, but she looks pissed. Oh, furrowed brow. Yeah, she don't look happy. I don't know her, but she don't look happy. I'm enjoying some of these faces. I was watching live, I was like, oh, yeah. Oop, little snarky there. Just look at some of them. Oh, scowl. I love the faces. This is good shit. So yeah, I am glad that we have at least one person from new media in here, though. I really am. I really, really am. We have at least one chair. I personally think in 2025, with the power of the internet, when some dumbass like me, I'm not saying I should be there, when some dumbo like me can sit down, yes, I'm in my basement, not my mommy's, sit down in front of a camera and talk to the world. Not saying the world's going to stop by and listen to me, but I can talk to the world, read media, I can read news sources, I can make up my own mind, I can try to talk to you about my opinion, your opinion. When we can look at facts for ourselves and find out these people are lying, I don't think this one media chair over here where Tim is sitting is enough. I would say in 2025, a quarter of these seats should be taken up by online personalities. I don't care if it's Glenn Beck. I don't care if it's, I don't even know half the lefty podcasters. I don't care if it's the Krasensteins. I don't care who it is. But there should be probably at least, I'll be even lower, at least 8 seats in here for new media. And that's that. That's what I believe. I don't believe the one seat is enough. Anybody does, please let me know. Do you think, how many seats would you like to see? Out of everybody in there, the standing and sitting, how many people from new media should be automatically in this room? Now, they were saying Alad was going to be involved. I don't know if it was here or if he's going to be involved in another part of it. But I don't really see Alad Eliyahu here. He works for Timcast a lot of times. Oh, is that him on the left? Right here by the camera? No, that can't be Alad, can it? Maybe. Could be. But I think there should be more. I think 1 or 2 people is not enough. I think at least a quarter. That's just me. If anybody watches later, comment below. What do you think? How many out of this gaggle of people in this video, in this picture right here, do you think should be from new media? I believe at least a quarter in 2025. I wouldn't mind. I would like to see somebody from Steven Crowder there. I would like to see even that crazy chick, Palmieri from last night. Her to be able to have a seat in here. Whoever the bigger podcasters are, bigger new media people are, should have some of them in this room. Yeah, I think so. And I think Tim asked a good question. I know he was kind of proselytizing a little, giving himself a little boost. Nothing against that at all. But I think it could have been answered a little better. But let's take a listen here. Let me reconnect my headphones since for some reason I seem to have to reconnect them when I'm at all the time manually tonight. I have to figure that out.
Yes, many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false.
I'm sorry, that's as loud as it goes. That's why I read it off to you earlier. I'll try. Here, let me try the next one. And let me see if it's louder. Somebody pumped it up because that was as loud. Nope. Okay, here we go. Let me see if it's louder.
I'm wondering if you can comment on the
a little bit.
Behavior
Okay, let's back up. Bring this up. And this is as loud as I can get it, guys. So that is it.
It's just simply being referred to as a Maryland man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat. So I'm wondering if you can comment on, following this expansion, you've had numerous outlets disparage the companies that you've had sit here, as well as the reporters. I'm wondering if you can comment on that unprofessional behavior, as well as elaborate if there's any plans to expand access to new companies.
Sure. Well, we certainly welcome diverse viewpoints in this room, which is one of the reasons we have you in here, and there's many new faces in this room in comparison to the previous administrations. We want to welcome all viewpoints into this room. We welcome unbiased journalists who really care about the truth and the facts. And
I don't care about bias. Honestly. I don't care about bias as long as you have equal amounts of bias in there. Do I like unbiased journalism? Yes. This is not the whole clip I wanted. I wanted the whole video, but the volume is going to be quiet, so I will play the whole one. But I don't care about the bias. If you have 10 of what right, you should have 10 left. Let's balance it out. Let's get some center. But I don't care about the bias so much. I will say this, Tim. I'm not a big one on dress codes, but man, if you're going to be here, I'm not saying you got to dress like these schmoes, but maybe not the zip-up jacket and beanie. I don't know. I know the beanie's kind of your thing, but put an actual hat on or something nicer, and maybe not quite the zip-up jacket like I've got laying over in the chair over there. All right, guys, this is as loud as I get, so I will shut my butt up. Let's listen to Tim here. I think it's a good thing he did, but, you know, I don't think it was answered.
Yes, many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by 2 different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat. So I'm wondering if you can comment on, following this expansion, you've had numerous outlets disparage the companies that you've had sit here, as well as the reporters. I'm wondering if you can comment on that unprofessional behavior, as well as elaborate if there's any plans to...
Ooh, Mr. MSNBC here didn't like, or NBC, sorry, didn't like that. When Tim started talking about them disparaging small companies, oh, he picked his head up. He gave a funky smile and grimace at Tim. He did not care for that. Tim brought up about how half these people here have been disparaging people like him and Crowder and, you know, even some of the people on the left. They've been disparaging them. And, oh, yeah, because that got a few heads moving there. Even Caitlin Collins picked her little ass head up, who had her head buried in her phone in her little booklet. Tim said that. He got it. He got response. All the faces changed. Look at her eyes. She's like, oh, shit. Yeah, the chick in the red right here. Oh, boy. Oh, that got faces looking. So that was good, Tim.
To expand access to new companies.
sure. Well, we certainly welcome diverse viewpoints in this room.
Now that's where we picked up. Sorry that's so quiet. I thought I had a louder one. But Tim Pool did call them all out for all the hoaxes of the past, and even the Maryland man hoax. And when he started saying how they disparage, yeah, they picked their heads up. They didn't care for it. Let me see here. This isn't any louder.
Represented in this room have marked
That's
in
no
lockstep
up.
false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland man
I'm having
hoax,
problems with
where
here.
an MS-13 gang
Sorry,
member adjudicated by...
my headphones are really being turds tonight, and I don't know why.
Simply being referred to as a Maryland man over and over again.
Now it's all quiet. I can't seem to find one that's louder.
Political commentator and a
There we
media
go.
entrepreneur with millions of
There we
followers,
go.
a very big platform. Currently hosts TimCast IRL, a daily news and discussions vital change.
Yeah, we know.
False narratives, such as the
There we
Very...
go.
So Tim,
Here we
why
go.
don't you
This is a little
kick us off
better,
today?
so you guys can hear it. Sorry.
Many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by 2 different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat. So I'm wondering if you can comment on, following this expansion, you've had numerous outlets disparage the companies that you've had sit here, as well as the reporters.
Now that's where Tim said disparage companies, people sit here, and these new reporters. That's when the NBC guy, Caitlin Collins, and half the others who weren't paying attention picked their heads up and started looking at him. They did not like that. The NBC guy was even giving a grimace at him. Yeah, Tim really called him out with that part. Not talking about the hoaxes, but how they're disparaging people like Tim Pool and Crowder, even you, the Krasensteins and stuff. They do not like the new media. That's where Tim really called them out.
I'm wondering if you could comment on the unprofessional behavior, as well as elaborate if there's any plans to expand access to new companies.
Sure. Well, we certainly welcome diverse viewpoints in this room, which is one of the reasons we have you in here, and there's many new faces in this room in comparison to the previous administrations. We want to welcome...
I don't think she gave much of an answer. I've played her answering there a couple times. I don't think that was much of an answer, but yeah. I would almost agree a little bit with this, but Tim wasn't whining. I know this is a lefty. Tim gets a chance to ask a question in the White House press pool and decides his best option is to whine and ask for help because some of the journalists there hurt his feelings. That's not what he was doing. He was calling them out and firing shots across the bow right there. Not whining. That was Tim calling out. And for people that didn't know or don't think or haven't heard about all those other things are hoaxes, he just put it out in public on a White House press conference. That's a big deal. There are some normies now that may wake up and go, what? Those aren't real? They may go look. Hell, if they watched Tim's stream from last night, whoa. I thought Phil Labonte was going to lose his mind. Even Alad come down on the right side of things for once. But no, Tim took a shot across the bow, and he wasn't asking for their help here. The seat's already there. Tim already has his press credentials. There's others that getting these. He was just firing shots back at the legacy media who's been taking shots at these people. It's nice for in a nice, calm way to take a shot back. So I'm all for it. But yeah, the Dude Bro Show. Well, I didn't know that one. Let's see, is this any louder? I wish I could find a nice loud one.
Maryland man over and over again.
No, it's the same thing. All right, but yeah, Tim, I think, did a good thing. I don't want to belabor it too much. Go watch Timcast. I'm sure I will probably watch it later tonight while I'm doing my meds. My breathing treatments, but I think Tim did a good thing. I don't think he whined. I do not, and I will always criticize Tim if I think he's doing wrong or anybody else. I don't care if it's, Salty Cracker, D-Day Cobra, whatever. People who I really agree with a lot out of that group. I actually probably agree with Jeremy, D-Day Cobra, a lot more than any of the others. So, yeah. I got to be careful. I could almost be considered a simp or a fan of his as long as I was following Geeks and Gamers. So, yeah. But, I thought what Tim did was good. I thought he took some nice shots back, a little bit of trolling, got some points across. I do wish Carolyn Levitt had answered a little more, addressing his question about the hoaxes. She only addressed the last part. I would have liked to have had her address from that podium the first part. But let's move on a little bit, shall we? Don't need to have Maxine Dexter up there anymore. We already talked about Pam Blondie. We're not talking about Albrego anymore. All right, so that's the Albrego Garcia information. I'm done with Albrego Garcia. All right, now we're going to talk about some standard stuff here. George Burr's not above law, like Tisha James is finding out she get removed from the bench. Yes, I do believe so. Oh my God. Oh no. All right, we are going to move into more of the little lighter side. Wow. This should be the new Mount Rushmore. Okay. No. Oh my God, if they put George Floyd on a mountain, this country is done. Let alone the other morons. I mean, honestly, out of the four of them, I would not be as pissed if they put Obama on one, because he is, whether we like it or not, historical figure, first black president of the United States of America. I disagreed with him about 85% of everything he did. There was 15% I actually agreed with. I agreed with Barack Obama. I'm going to give you one. I agreed with Barack Obama when he said when companies could invest as much as they wanted into elections. Companies were people. No. I agreed with Barack Obama, said, no, you will see a huge amount, too much money from these corporations, and it will be buying our elections, too much money in the elections. And I agreed with him on that. But I know of Barack Obama's record before he ran for president, and when he ran, I was like, no. But out of the other three, God, if I had to choose any of these people to be on a Mount Rushmore, it'd be him over them. None of these other three have any standing to be on anything, even printed on a side of a Dixie cup. So, yeah. All right. Oh, good grief. Is this the one? Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's some good humor. And I'm going to have to reset my headphones again. I do not understand what the problem is here. It doesn't seem to want to connect no matter what I do. It keeps blinking. It wants to disconnect. Good grief. Unplug and replug. Oh, my Lord. That is weird, Scooby. All right. This I'll keep smaller, but I got this cranked up. So you got maybe a little louder this time.
You're calling for
Or
a
not.
$50 an hour federal minimum wage. That's 7 times the current national minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. Can you explain how that would be economically sustainable for small businesses? You have 60 seconds.
Not at all.
First, let me say I owned and ran a small business for 11 years. I created hundreds of jobs, benefits, retirement benefits.
I got to stop real quick and ask you guys a question. What do you consider a small business? I was a partner in a small business. What do I consider a small business? Me, my business partner, and at times, depending on how many, anywhere from 2 to 5 other technicians in the shop. So maybe 7 of us, let's say. That's what I call a small business. I'm not sure I call hundreds, yes, in the scheme of this country, or a company the size of, let's say, DuPont, sure, small business. But what do you think when you mean small business? Because I think of the small businesses like down the street from my town, small mom and pop store, the corner little grocery store, something like that. That's kind of what comes to my mind. Maybe it's because I grew up in the middle of nowhere. What do you think? You know, a little buffet, little cafe down the street that maybe has 15, 20 employees. I don't know, but just curious.
Also health care benefits. I know what worker productivity means, and that means that you have to make sure that your employees are taken care of and have a living wage. In the Bay Area, I believe it was the United Way, came out with a report that very recently, $127,000 for a family of 4 is just barely enough to get by. Another survey very recently, $104,000 for a family of 1, barely enough to get by. Low income.
Did you hear those numbers? There's something wrong with your state.
For a family of 4 is very recently, $127,000 for a family of 4 is just barely enough to get by.
Then there's something wrong with your fucking state. If you can't get by on a family of 4 for under $127,000 a year, holy shit, there's something wrong with your state. I know tons. My family didn't grow up making $124,000 a year. I don't think anybody I know around me makes an average of 100. Yes, I'm not a rich guy, but I knew people of multiple economic. Actually, I do know some that make a good amount of money. Shit. But most people I know, I'd say probably 95% of people I know don't make $124,000 a year in their household. Holy shit. They can't make it on $124,000 a year. There is something wrong in your state. My God, even Adam Schiff is going, shit, that's not good. You look stupid. Even he's like, that's too much. You're dumb. And I don't like this jackass. But wow, $124,000 a year. I can't get by that. All right, I'll pop that back up. I'll be over the. Sorry to the big girl in the orange.
Another survey very recently, 104,000 for a family of one. Barely enough to get by. Low income because.
I hate to keep pausing. Family of one? So according to her, this is a 6-pack of one. Or a case of one soda. Okay. Family usually includes more than one. This chick, she just stupid shit left and right.
To get by. Low income because of the affordability crisis. And so just do the math.
That's your problem, your
Just do the
state.
math. Of course, we have national minimum wages that we need to raise to a living wage. You're talking about $20, $25, fine. But I have got to be focused on what California needs and what the affordability factor is when we calculate this wage.
Ms. Lee, thank you.
Your problem is your state, not your minimum wage. If your state costs more than twice as much to be poor in, then you've got a fucking problem in your state. Fix your laws, fix your taxes, fix your regulations, not chase more businesses out, close more businesses, because you're going to walk up and you are going to tell McDonald's they have to pay somebody going, "Hi, welcome to McDonald's." $50 an hour minimum? Minimum wage. Holy shit. That is insanity. There is no way that will work. 50 an hour? Think about any mom and pop store. Think about anybody running a food truck. You got to pay that employee $50 an hour? Anybody running your little bodega or grocery store down the street, $50 an hour at the Aldi checkouts? Holy Jesus. Your problem is your state. This is Democrats. Now, I just noticed something funny here. Why is it she has to be on a pedestal? Why is it? Don't say it's because she's shorter. Why is she on a pedestal? This chick is shorter than these two guys. She doesn't have a pedestal. Why is she on a pedestal? Not only on a pedestal, but a pedestal to make her taller than everybody. And she is. She's taller than everybody. I watch more of this other day and straight across, and they have a straight camera shot. They have her taller. Why is she taller? Why'd they have to podium up that much? I'm just curious. But she's stupid. This is why California is screwed. Because, let's not fix our stuff. Let's just pull more money out of the pockets of businesses. That'll make them stay here. You are losing businesses faster than I believe any state in America right now. You are losing more population than any state in America. My God, you lose the illegals. You're screwed. Yeah, you're a big populous state. You can absorb it for how long? How long can you absorb the loss of business and citizenry? It's already got to be affecting you. Illinois, we're seeing effects. I'm in one of those big states losing people. High tax. So yeah. This is don't fix your state. Chase more business out. Yeah, good luck. Dumb. Think about this. Even somebody doing housekeeping, a little cleaning, $50 an hour to vacuum your carpet. Oh boy. Is there any more of this? Oh, this is the new interim chief of the WEF. Yeah, I saved him as a bookmark too. I'll talk about him there. Let's see. Did I have? Oh yeah, right here it was. Describe the new interim chief of the WEF in a few words. I was thinking Bond villain. Holy crap. Or you ever seen this movie They Live? Oof. Dude, can a creepy organization just... What were you thinking? You should hire somebody that looks, like Gal Gadot or something. At least soften your image or fool people. Try to come in. Be a wolf in sheep's clothing, not a wolf in zombies' clothing. Don't be a wolf in wolf's clothing. The people go look at this guy and go, shit. People already go, here's CWF, and go, Now they see this guy, Now they know you're a criminal. Don't hire a guy who looks like a Bond villain to run your organization. My thoughts are, what the fuck were you thinking? That's crazy. I wonder what Salty, if he did have anything to say about it. Interim chief. Actually, I want to see what some of the comments are. Let's see. Let's go over some of these comments. I won't be on much longer, guys. Ah! Kenneth Copeland's cousin. I like that, but man, the eyeball thing is freaky. I can see Kenneth Copeland's cousin, but the eyeball. That is like some sci-fi movie shit. Like he's got a robot eye. Terminator is here. Oh, there. Yep, there it is. Oh my God, yes. I knew it. Yeah, and they do say that the top 5 quotes for New Overlords. You'll own nothing and I'll own everything else. It's called balance. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. I'm not here to enslave you. I'm here to collaborate you into submission. I don't want to control the food supplies. I want to suggest that what you eat with a little chip in your neck. I tried humanity once. It didn't scale well. This isn't a surveillance program. It's a personalized attention economy. You're welcome. Yeah. Ugh. Steve Austin. Oh, my God. Hypnotoad. Exactly. One of the best shows ever, by the way. Futurama. All right, so let's go over here. We'll go here, go to my bookmarks, and see what else funny. Oh, my gosh. You know, I wasn't planning on being a long stream tonight, but just when you think you're about done, they drag you right back in. Meet a Minnesota District Attorney named Mary Moriarty. This is the woman who is refusing to prosecute a man for keying 6 Teslas. Yeah. I think she identifies as a mound of dirt that keeps water back. What do you think? Let's see. I bet we'll see some good answers on this. Oh, Lordy. 511,230 Soros donations. Well, no surprise there. Men in suits have destroyed it. Yes, men in suits. Ha, 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 ha. Yep, Soros donations. If we had a political party of our own, we could beat these POS at their own game, but we're stuck with a fake opposition party. Yes, the fake opposition, which is Republicans. Yep. Another anti-American, hateful transy, or who cares? Who hates Trump for the America First agenda and Elon for Doge, discovery of frauds, abuse, waste. Yes, well, she's getting Soros funds, yeah. 100%. Yes. Oh, no. Now you can send her out. Nice. I'm going to like that. All right. Back to I want to get out of here pretty soon. I'm hungry. Oh, my Lord. I'm going to apologize in advance because anytime I subject you to Americans, even though I still support his right to be in the White House press pool, we need a lefty. There, you put your left heart in. Okay, let me back up, set my headphones. It's still acting up. Good gosh. I don't know why they do this. All right, here's Harry.
We have some major news. In a new statement, Donald Trump just basically endorsed the end of due process in the United States, saying that not everybody can get a trial. When talking about...
He's talking about the illegal aliens, and I talked about at the beginning. You brought in 20 million without vetting, without due process, but now we have to due process on the way out. Boy, Democrats, funny how that works. The due process door only swings one way?
About immigrants that he's removing from the country. He
illegal
said, we
immigrants.
have to do this, or we're not going to have a country any longer. We
illegal.
cannot give everyone a trial, because to do so would take, without exaggeration, 200 years. We would need hundreds of thousands of trials for the hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants we are sending out of the country.
Millions.
Such a thing is not possible to do. What a ridiculous situation we are in. So that right there is the President of the United States endorsing the end of due process.
No, he's setting up facts. Once again, the due process door seems to only swing one way for Democrats. That door was propped wide open. They didn't have anything to do with due process on the way in. Since Trump tries to get rid of any, now we have to have due process for every one of them. No. You get the same due process on the way out that you got on the way in. None. Gone. Go back across the border, wait file paperwork, and then we'll talk about you. He doesn't care. And remember, he left off the word illegal immigrants.
Process for people that he doesn't like, saying, you know what, there's just too many trials, let's not have them.
We voted for it, dickhead. We voted for it. We said get them out. This little jackass likes to talk about the people Trump doesn't like. No, Trump ran on mass deportations. Even lefty polls now show well over half the country supports mass deportations, not just of people at Abrego Garcia. I don't care if it's somebody serving you your burger down at Carl's Jr. They want them mass deported. Nothing to do with what Trump likes. Has to do with Trump trying to reverse what you dickheads did, and you're dickheads. So yeah, you go ahead, Harry. Yeah. Sorry, I hate to make fun like that, but God, he's such a child.
This is such a dangerous precedent to set. We in the United States have valued the right to due process for our entire existence. Our
American citizens have. Not illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, whatever you want to call them. Undocumented. No, they're illegal aliens. That's it. You're alien to our country. You're illegal. That's why we've always called them that.
Founding fathers debated this very thing. And now Donald Trump is saying, you know what, it doesn't really matter.
This is the lefty grift. They will twist and leave facts out. Illegal immigrants, they do not have due process under our law like you and I do. This is not conflate with citizen and non-citizen. Not what our forefathers fought for in any way, shape, or form at all. And my dog is really snoring on the back of that couch on the other side. Wow, is she snoring? That's why we have sheets and everything. We have multiple dogs. But yeah, she is really snoring it up. And at 77 pounds, she can snore. But yeah, he is lying his ass off and leaving stuff out left and right. People Trump doesn't like. Hey, fine, Harry. Then you're saying that almost 60% of America don't like him either. So I think if 60% of America, by your great love of democracy, you guys spouted, then shouldn't we be able to get rid of them?
It's wrong. It's anti-America. It's anti-Constitution, and it's anti-democracy, and that's the truth.
Getting rid of illegal aliens is anti-America. Huh. Well, strange.
Everyone, regardless of the accusations against them, deserve due process.
Not if you didn't come in with due process. Follow our laws coming in, we'll follow our laws kicking you out. If you do not follow the laws in, we don't have any to follow on the way out. Think about it. They can break all laws coming in, but somewhere on the way out is where we have to follow shitloads of laws and take 340 to 350 years to get rid of just the ones Biden brought in. Yeah, that is crazy. That is this dickhead trying to just keep them all here. That is the grift. We brought them in. No, we don't have to follow laws bringing them in, but you got to do it on the way out. And Republicans are wieners, so they probably will do it.
They deserve a court date. They deserve a trial. They deserve to hear the evidence against them.
No,
that's
they don't.
final. As a reminder,
the evidence. Are you illegal? Yeah. Get out. Done.
I post on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and more. It'd mean a lot if you check it out. Link in my bio.
Yeah, get a good laugh. Harry Sisson is a moron. He's a child. Not only that, man, I know a lot of people his age much smarter than him. He is blatantly lying. He conflates. He conflates you as an American citizen with an illegal alien. Our forefathers fought. No, they did not. Our forefathers fought for the citizens of this country, not for illegal alien invaders. They deserve no due process on the way out if they didn't have it coming in. All right, but Harry, jerk. God, I can't stand that guy. Oh, let's see. Bookmarks. Oh, I thought it was on my bookmarks, wasn't I? I must have gone too far. My bad. Yeah. Denying multiple Dem representatives' requests for a meeting. Yes. They have no right to demand anything from the president of another country. Now, this is screwy. This is screwy. A biological male at the North Kansas City YMCA in Missouri reportedly entered a biological women's locker room and exposed his penner to a 7-year-old girl and her mother. When confronted by the mother, man reportedly said, "Honey, I'm a biological woman." Gotta watch them YouTubers. YMCA really saying individuals are allowed to use a locker room or restroom that they identify with. That is bullshit. Holy crap, my cat. So yeah, local police have opened an investigation for indecent exposure, and I think the YMCA should, anybody there should just never go to that YMCA again. People should be walking in demanding. That stands for Young Men's Christian Association, by the way. How Christian is it to have a 7-year-old girl ogled by a grown man or have a penner in her face? Do we arrest people? Where is this line? So you're saying any random guy can walk into a locker room and just go, "I'm a girl," and expose his ween to a chick? We've arrested people for this forever. We still do. So all you got to say is, "I identify as a girl," and that's it? You don't get arrested for just dropping trowel in front of a little kid? That is nuts. I've worked at a gym. Had a guy who thought he was above the law because he was a principal, brought his daughters, nude, 10 and 12-year-old daughters, into the men's steam room. I shit you not. There were men coming up, just towels wrapped around them, freaked out, coming up to the desk going, "Some guy just brought naked little girls in there." They were losing it. That is stupid. Sorry, I have a cat problem. Psst. My other cat back there's clawing stuff. No, that is stupid. Now, I threaten to call the police on him. Get them the FF out of there now. I went back in there and I was pissed. These men were freaked out because they were afraid that those little girls in there would get them in trouble. Naked little girls in front of them. They walk in, they're exposed in the steam room. We arrested people for that. The police showed up. This man was threatened if he ever did anything like that again. They took it down as a complaint. Now we just let them do it if they just say, "Oh, I identify." This is making, hey, trans people, let me help you here. And I am trying to help you. You got to stop this shit. This shit is decimating your argument. This is another reason Trump won, is this shit right here. And Democrats are backing this. And shame on the YMCA. The friggin' CA for doing this. My local YMCA I go to has Christian verses up in it, Bible passages up in it all the time. They have them posted everywhere. Now what in the hell are you doing letting this happen? I'm telling you right now, trans people, you better nix this. You better stomp this in the bud. As far as I'm concerned, you stay out of any locker. If you don't want to identify, then too bad. You don't get to identify going and do this in front of a kid or change in front of a kid. Either way, you go to a neutral bathroom. You go change in a stall in a bathroom somewhere. You do not go into a locker room like this. You are just pissing off more people, waking more people up. I hope this YMCA gets decimated by their patrons. I mean, I hope they get complaint upon complaint upon complaint. I hope people cancel memberships. That is dumb. We're going to look back. Sooner or later, somebody's going to look back on this time and say, when a man could stand in front of a woman after exposing his ween to a little 7-year-old girl and say, "Honey, I'm a woman," they're going to look back and say, this was the time of the Dark Ages. This was the second Dark Ages. Doesn't matter what the technology was. Mentally, we had a Dark Ages. How in the hell? All right, we're going to end with some happier stuff. I got rid of him. I can get rid of him now. But okay, let's end with a little lighter. At least I might have to reset my head. I'll see if they'll reset themselves. If it doesn't have to back up, I apologize. I don't know what's going on with that. I like my wireless, but they're going to keep acting up.
Hi, my name is Tempest. And if you don't want me to step on your toes, move your fucking feet.
Huh? What does that even mean? Are you afraid? I mean, okay. All right. Is that Sonic the Hedgehog's girlfriend? Looks like Sonic the Hedgehog. Not afraid. Here's another loser. Liberal woman says every black person is owed $300,000 and 40 acres of land. Thoughts? No. Every? Even if you have only been here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, your family? 2 years? Every Browns person owes? Okay. One, everybody's got to prove. Let's just say we want to do reparations. Everybody's got to prove that they were affected by slavery. Their families were ever slaves. You have to prove it. Prove it. Then it's going to open it up, by the way. Then there's a lot of white people. Scotch-Irish. The Irish were slaves. Where's mine?
Like I said before, black people are owed $300K each. Also, we deserve the 40 acres as well. I didn't come up with that number. Some people at a college, I forgot who came up with it. It was like some study, not a study, it's like some calculation they did. They calculated like 24 hours.
I got a feeling that $300K, the way she's acting, is more than she will ever see in her whole lifetime together. Oh my God. Because I don't remember where this came from, but while I'm speaking in my ghetto government apartments, laundry room, I deserve this. I'm only like 25 years old. My family hasn't even been here that long, but I deserve it because of my skin. Jeez,
this was like in 2022, I think they came out with that number. But there's like other calculations out there that says like we're owed even more money. When you consider like they didn't get days off, they were on a 24-hour schedule. So there are numbers out there that people have calculated that says that we're owed even more than that.
Feel free to go back in time. Talk to your ancestor. Go to Doctor Who. Borrow the TARDIS. Go back in time. Talk to your ancestor. Tell your ancestor to go demand some payment from the people who did that. Nobody alive today is owed anything from that time. Nobody alive today owes anybody from that time. Especially when, hey, let me help you here. You get to prove to me your family was here back in the slavery days. They were ever slaves. And then you prove which family did that. Because most of the white people here, a lot of them come since. And a lot of them there, even back then, 4 or 5% ever owned slaves? Let's say 10% max. Leaves 90% of people had nothing to do with it. Didn't have any of that to do with. They don't owe you jack shit. And how about this? How about all the white families who got decimated for your freedom? Do you then in turn owe at least half of what that 300K, so let's say 150K and 20 of that acres to those people? Just saying, they didn't have to die for you. They had no reason to have to do that. Where is your owing them? Just saying. Yeah, we're going to go back 150 years and we're going to tell everybody, go to have it. Well, prove it. Well, no, just give it. Skin color.
I was just saying 300K. That's like what I remembered from the article I was reading, where they had like the different calculations of how much each of us is owed.
Nobody owes you
from
nothing.
Slavery, and it is something that still impacts the black community.
Let's start here. Affirmative action and the amount of money we've pumped into the black community far outstrips if we had given you 300K and 40 acres. It is billions and billions. In fact, I believe over time it's trillions of dollars to the black community. We've covered the debt for that 5 to 10% of the population. We've more than covered the debt. So, you know what I mean. All right, that's, let's see, I think I'm about done. I think that's all I had interested tonight. So we'll run home real quick, just do a quick, I always like to refresh. Just see, there's one more thing. The only way to ensure to restore the rule of the people is in America is to impeach judges. Yes. And they always tell you can't impeach Supreme Court justices and federal judges. Yes, you can. Go look it up. There is mechanisms to do so. The United States Congress can impeach Supreme Court justices, and I am all for it because most of them don't do their jobs. We have tons of constitutional issues in this country, been going on forever, from First Amendment issues, Second Amendment issues, search and seizure issues, you name it, that they are not taking up. Their very mandate is constitutional issues and nationwide federal rights issues, and they are not doing their jobs. So, yeah, I'm all for it. Oh, boy. Oh, no. They are still wearing them. By the way, a KN95 is not a true N95 mask. A true N95 mask, I have them from 3M because of my lung problem. I had them before Panda Flu. They are ultra hard to breathe in. They are not KN95s. And true N95s are surgical grade masks used for major surgeries. That is not what she has.
I officially have a new favorite, KN95. To break into a top spot, a mask needs to be a trifold. I love it, especially if it's kind of approximately my skin tone, so it blends in a little bit. I feel like I get harassed less in public that way. Having a wire.
She was like a transformer with that mouth part moving, like Optimus Prime had that mouthpiece moving.
For the nose to help with fit, no glasses fogging, and comfortable ear loops, and have the interior of the mask also not be scratchy.
What do you want to bet she's got a nose ring under that thing?
To really help
let me see, come on, pull it.
Seal, and we've got.
Don't be surprised. There it is, nose ring. Oh no, she doesn't. Her glasses. Oh my God, she doesn't have. She's incognito.
In addition to the wire, so really helps get that tight seal. So for me, always in a high risk situation, I'm going to go with a 3M or a N95. But
see it? She admits it. The 3M N95 is the way to go. These KNs, walk around breathing through these guys. Go for it. Go for it. You ever breathe through a KN95, let alone an N95? Good luck.
For everyday lower risk scenarios, this one, the well before in khaki, is going to be my new go-to.
Oh my God, in khaki. Oh my God, she's going fashion. My God, they're still wearing them. I can't believe it. They're still wearing them. All right, yeah, I'm about my time for wanting to be out of here. But I just like to always end on goofy. What the? Do you ever see something just reading the beginning and seeing the picture? You feel brain cells about to just be ended. No matter what the Supreme Court says, I am a woman. You're halfway to being a Borg with all that metal in you. Hey, is that an MS-13 tattoo? Oh, God, Ren and Stimpy. No, don't put Ren and Stimpy in here. Anybody remember the Ren and Stimpy theme? Happy, happy, joy, joy. This is not. When you're poking this much holes in yourself, that is not. How do you breathe that in your nose? Happy, happy, joy, joy. They got things poked through from each nostril. You got this big old thing in your mouth. How does that work with sinus problems and snot? And how do you ever drink really well with these things in your lip? You're like a walking dribble glass. Oh, boy. Anybody got a really powerful magnet?
Probably heard about this Supreme Court's ruling on the definition of the word.
Yeah, based UK. Who saw that on their bingo card in the UK with all the arrests for free speech violations over there, just making jokes and memes? Oh, you hurt somebody's fifis, we're going to arrest you. Who saw them doing this? How do you square that? You're arresting 30 people a day for making a joke somebody doesn't like. You hurt my feelings. You made me upset. You made me stressed. We'll arrest you. But the Supreme Court turns around and does this?
Woman. This will have some real serious ruling on the definition of the word woman. This will have some real serious implications. It will have some consequences. But I want to tell you one thing. They can make their laws. They can specify their definitions. They can take away my rights. But there's one thing that they'll never be able to take from me. And that's who I am. I'm a trans woman and I'm proud. And they'll never be able to take that from me. Probably heard.
100 years from now, they will look back. They're going to be playing this in some college classroom going, here is the history of America during the Second Dark Ages. The Dark Ages of lack of enlightenment, where we suddenly took science and threw it away, wiped our ass with science. what worked for since millennia began, from the beginning of time with all species, and said, you know what? Nope. Nope. Because somebody feels it bothers them. What? 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 If this got music, I may have to stop.
I'm a Republican dating a trans woman. The current Republican views on trans people is not great.
I will start off and say, hey, at least this person's trying to pass. I mean, I've seen a lot worse, but something don't look right down here. Maybe they've had the lop off of me, maybe not, but something don't look right. But at least this person can semi-pass. A lot of them look like they can pass about as well as my Chevy truck can pass as a woman.
The current Republican views on trans people is not great. What they're trying to put into law is, I think they've just changed, like, the LGBTQ plus community.
Oh boy, don't show me this person all the makeup work.
Pretty much trying to eradicate trans people, which is...
Ah, there we go. Oh, let's put the spackle on. Now, once you see the face without all this pretty going on here. Yeah, see? All the makeup and the big, huge sunglasses and hair done. Yeah, once you see it this way, and you see, where is it? Oh, yeah, there you can see it, 100%. Oy.
Baffling to me. And
dating a Republican man has made me feel angry and upset and confused. Yeah, it's been...
Okay. It's the dating a Republican man that has made you confused and upset? Angry, confused, upset? Just that? Not, this? Right here? Not you doing this. This doesn't make you confused. Okay. 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 Okay, so, yeah, no.
Dating a Republican man has made me feel angry and upset and confused. Yeah,
you're already confused.
It's been really hard. Our current president has sent me in a literal spiral. I have been in intense therapy. I don't feel safe in this country right now.
I hate that she feels scared to be who she is. Nobody should feel that way at all. We say that we stand for freedom in this country. How can we say that when we're oppressing people?
Says the group of people that want to go into women's spaces. We separated women's stuff for a reason, but now a biological male goes, nope, because I say I'm in your space, I get to be in your space. Yeah, so who's messing with whose rights? All right. Another one? Aww. Nikita Cybertruck at Colorado Mills Mall. She was supposedly crying and asking for forgiveness. Do you feel bad? Nope. 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 Yeah, because the word refugee is about as useful as the word genocide anymore. You guys have crapped genocide. You've destroyed the word refugee too. You've destroyed both words. They're meaningless now. You told everybody to say refugee on the way in. You know, they came from half around the planet and 20 countries away. Say refugee. It's a useless saying. So yeah, I would choose the dog. Because most people use the word refugee now. It's bullshit. It's a useless, fake word. Refugee is nothing. He's the victim now. Yep. I'm usually not too interested in trials. Last one I was interested in was Rittenhouse because all the evidence at the time, the leaked video footage shows that Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. They're hiding this footage pretty heavily. The police seized everybody's phones and are really holding this close to the vest. I am waiting to see what comes out in the trial. It doesn't look good for this kid. I think this kid is a little bit thuggish. do not get to escalate. Once again, anybody knows anything about deadly force, especially if you have concealed carry or carry at all, you know what is and isn't allowable in return force. And what he did is not. So, oof. But I am... Do I think what he did was wrong? Yes. Can I, by law? Yes. Was it first degree? I don't know. I want to see what the footage shows and the other evidence shows. If it looks like he was out there looking for trouble and picked there on purpose, then yes, first degree. Other than that, either way, it's either, at the very least, it's voluntary manslaughter. Easily. Oh boy. All right, I think we'll end on her, as I saw this one earlier, and this is a great one to end on. Let me get up here with her, and we will go enjoy.
You want to know how against Trump I am? I got a fucking job, living in my car, okay, no address, bitch, all right? Found out that my fucking employer voted for Trump, and guess who quit? I did. And then, okay, had this fucking guy, like, all interested in me because I'm hot and young, okay, cool, and was like,
neither.
I have this fucking room that you can stay in for a fucking cheaper rate, blah, 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 blah. Found out he was a fucking Trumpy, and guess who decided to stay in her fucking car? Me, because that's how against I am of that orange fucking dictator.
Okay. Fine. Your terms are acceptable. You'll be stinky living in your car, and you're not as pretty as you think you are. And yes, I know how I look. I get it. But she's not as pretty as she thinks she is. She can live in her car, be stinky, be weird. Her hair already looks ratty. Fine. Make sure your genetics don't get shared. Don't get spread. You don't have kids. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So to everybody there on Rumble, thank you very much. How you doing? For you lurkers on YouTube, thank you very much. I am going to move over here and bring myself back up to a little larger and get the heck out of here in a few minutes. But that is about everything I had to talk about tonight. It's been a little while. I'm going to try to do live stream probably each of the next couple nights. I will be out of town Friday through Sunday. At least, I don't know what time I'll be back Sunday. I may do one Sunday afternoon or evening, depending on what time we're back. That's Jack's right behind me there. Jack's. I would never get that right. Jack's cat. So yeah. But I will be back Sunday. Well, I won't be out of town. I'll be in and out. It's just I got some family stuff to deal with here, so I'll be bouncing around. Now that I lived in town a while, I call my parents' place where I grew up out of town. It's like not, but so I got to help my brother with that. So I'll be here. It's not enough to be live streaming. So yeah, but I'll be doing that for the next couple of days. But thank you for stopping in. Please leave a thumbs up, subscribe. Hey, if you like anything I do, let me know. If you don't, hey, let me know. I have no problem with that. Share the channel with anybody you think might enjoy some goofy dude like me talking in front of his Star Trek posters with a Blade Runner screensaver and a big tuxedo cat in the background. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much. This is Kylie from Lyons Den. Take it easy and